All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shemal, Shabbai, Shemar Kakodash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and in truth. Yeah, I just had this lesson on basically plague fighting herbs, different herbs that were used in the ancient times to alleviate symptoms, sicknesses, and ailments. And we're in the time of the coronavirus. And of course, I put that disclaimer out here. I'm not saying that these herbs will destroy or eradicate the coronavirus. This is the cure to the coronavirus. I'm not saying such. I'm just saying that these were used in the ancient times for, sicknesses and plagues and things of that nature. And, they definitely help build your immune system. They definitely help alleviate or relieve your symptoms. And they can, resist bacterial viral infections. As we know, of course, these diseases that come through the government, a lot of them are man-made. They're chemically designed. They're genetically designed and mutated, harvested and spliced in these different medical departments. You have virologists and things of that nature that work with different diseases. And it's been a lot that's been going out to saying this coronavirus is man-made, which I believe it to be so. A lot of these diseases that, are damn near impossible to crack the code for, a lot of them were created in a laboratory, if this devil is creating diseases, why would he allegedly bring out a cure, to, cure Jake right away? Esau works through his left-hand side. He has a program. Here in Georgia, they have the Georgia Guidestones that's still intact, still established and erected, that says keep the population at a minimum of 500 million. So, at the end of the day, this disease is sweeping through and is plummeting the stock market and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, they have a program. They know that there's going to be a lot of investments that will be lost to establish the new world order, the new world system. So Esau's willing to take that risk. And us brothers in the faith of Yahweh Shemal Shai, we have to look out for each other. The government's assistance has always shown itself to be faulty. Esau is not there to remedy or help you. He's there to kill you. All these different previous diseases, have been shown to come out to show that they were created to kill all blacks and Latinos. And these days now, Esau is using biological warfare against enemy nations. That's why China's number one. Iran is, if I'm not mistaken, number 4. You have China number 1, Italy number 2. If I'm not mistaken, Iran is number 3. As far as this disease outbreak, and like I said, as brothers in the faith, we just have to take care of ourselves to the best of our ability. Of course, first and foremost, pray to Yahweh Shemal Shai that he puts that protectionary hedge about you and keeps you intact and protected in these very devastating times. And also get into the herbs, man. Get into taking certain things that are used and were created to fight off symptoms of sicknesses. And the first thing I had up was this herb known as Four Thieves vinegar. And you see they sell them online, not that expensive. It's a good thing for brothers just to have in their vault. Because even when you look in the ancient world in the times of kings and rulers, I watched this show back, a couple years back. It was called Tudors, and I think it was the Black Plague that was going. And right when that plague started to take way, started to sweep through, you had the kings of the, I think he was the king of England, the Tudor dynasty. He ran straight to his apothecary. He didn't run to the doctor. They didn't have doctors in hospitals. He ran through his apothecary. And he had some badass herbs, man. He had some bad tinctures and things as such. And they were taking those things because they knew the power behind taking certain herbs. Especially during times of plague. And a lot of people don't take herbs seriously. They run for medical treatment before they'll run to the Most High and what he created on earth. And that's why majority of these people that's looking to overcome this disease, they succumb to it, because they're trusting in Egypt. They're trusting in the shadow of Egypt, which Egypt is the bondage that our people are shackled down upon, and it's and that goes for not only this coronavirus, but all kind of viruses and sicknesses, whether it's digestive, mental sicknesses and ailments. They never go and learn about what the Lord already planted on the earth, before man was created. When the Lord created the earth in that 6,000 day time span, so to speak. What is it? It says a day with the Lord is 1,000 years. So it was 6,000 years. One of the first things he created was herbs. He created the heavens and the earth, and Genesis, the first chapter, which I'll get, and then he created herbs bearing fruit after their kind, with the seed in itself, and then later on, man was planted after because how would man be planted before herbs? Herbs were used for the service of man, as it is written in Psalms 104. So without further ado, like I said, four thieves vinegar. When you read the story of Four Thieves Vinegar, the origins of it, I could go a little bit into it. According to legend, I'm not saying that this is 100% accurate, but according to legend, they say that this was a pretty bad herb, and I heard many things of such, and it's like it says right here. Four Thieves Vinegar is a concoction of vinegar, either from red wine, white wine, cedar, or distilled white, infused with herbs, spices, or garlic that was believed to protect users from the plague. Now, we already know red wine has hellified benefits. The herbs of the Most High, like I just said before, are created for the use of man, and with the spices and the garlics. And when these different herbs infuse and mix together, they pack a heavier punch. Some herbs need other assistant herbs to become active, such as turmeric. Turmeric needs black pepper. I think it has curcumin in it, and it needs black pepper in order for it to be a herbal powerhouse. So it's the same thing with a lot of these different herbs. And back in the day, they decided to, which it was thieves. That's why it's named Four Thieves Vinegar. These thieves created this to overcome. According to legend, I'm not saying it's 100% true, but when a lot of these stories were actually factual, but they put it today as urban legends and mythology. And when you look up that word mythology, it means the study of truth. It doesn't mean the study of lies. It means the study of truth. Myth goes into the word muthos, which means mouth, oral traditions, and it further elaborates into the study of truth. So, you take it with a grain of salt. You take it with a grain of salt. It's just, it's food for thought through the Spirit, which Lord willing, I'm gonna purchase some. The other one I'm gonna address, I actually take myself, and I personally firsthand can elaborate on the benefits of what I'm gonna go into next. But I'll just jump down to the point. I really want to hit the main point of the story behind Four Thieves Vinegar. Yeah, it says an alternative theory says that Four Thieves Vinegar could be a corruption. Matter of fact, I'll start at the top. The usual story declares that a group of thieves during a European plague outbreak were robbing the dead or the sick. When they were caught, they offered to exchange their secret recipe, which had allowed them to commit the robberies without catching the disease, in exchange for leniency. Another version said that the thieves had already been caught before the outbreak, and their sentence had been to bury dead plague victims. To survive this punishment, they created the vinegar. The city in which this happened is usually said to be Marseille or Toulouse, and the time period can be given as anywhere between the 14th and 18th century, depending on the storyteller. Yeah, and that's according to the story, And I'm not trying to sell this concoction, for benefits and anything of that nature. But like I just said, the Most High created these different herbs, and in their infusions, they do pack a heavy punch. Jacob be like, oh, this is what they call it, yellow belly salesmen or whatnot. People that sell false items, in turn for profit. I'm not turning a profit off of this. It's just something that is good. Which you have all kind of different tonics and tinctures that are hella beneficial. You have Master Tonic, which I've created that a couple times. And I gave it to a couple brothers, and brothers spoke about how quickly it benefited them. Master Tonic is a tonic that's apple cider vinegar, garlic, ginger, habanero peppers, jalapenos, and it's all infused and sit for 2 weeks. And you shake it and you strain it, and you have the juices, and of course you take it medicinally, and it packs a punch. And there, you have the antibiotic properties, the antiviral, antifungal, all these different properties that's infused with the apple cider vinegar, which apple cider vinegar acts as a probiotic. It can actually help build the gut lining, as well as other things. So when you take it, it has, like I said, good benefits. But it says an alternative theory says that Fort Thieves vinegar could be a corruption of Fort Halves vinegar, a concoction sold and invented by one Richard Fort Halve. Seems to attribute its creation to George Bates, though Bates' own published recipe for pestilential vinegar in his Pharmacopoeia Batia does not specifically use the name thieves or Fort Thieves. So, like I said, that's the according to the legend. I think it was Hippocrates that said that let food be thy medicine and medicine thy food. And that's ancient tradition, and that's how we would fight, these different diseases and sickness outbreaks, And we know at the end of the day, the Lord is created these different plagues in today's time to be judgment against the wicked, So at the end of the day, it all boils down to the Heavenly Father, if he's with you or if he's not with you, truthfully speaking. But it's also good to, take certain herbs, take the herbs, the medicines of the earth, what the Lord already has for Jake to take.